school community. Welcome to the Kenmore-West High School class of 2024 commencement ceremony. My name is Denise Granditz, and I am the assistant principal at Kenmore-West. It is my great honor to serve as the master of ceremonies for the commencement celebration today. We would like to begin this morning by welcoming the co-presidents of the National Honor Society, Aiden Biron and Owen Vanderwater, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. After the pledge, please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be performed by our senior choir members. Thank you to all of our student musicians and vocalists, as well as faculty from our music department, Mr. Tui and Mrs. Leary, for the beautiful music throughout the program today. We would also like to thank Mrs. D. Cohn and her team for her irreplaceable efforts to organize today's ceremony, and to all of our faculty and staff members who have joined us today. Joining me on stage to celebrate the class of 2024 is our Kenmore-West administrative team, Mr. Dean Johnson, principal of Kenmore-West, and my colleagues, assistant principals, Mrs. Kayla Capuccio and Ms. Kelly Lambert. Also on stage are the 2024 class advisors, Mrs. Marilyn Biron and Mr. Ed Flynn, and Mrs. Mary White. And on my right, we would like to extend a special welcome to our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Sabatino Samato, and members of our district leadership team. Mrs. Kelly White, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum, Leadership, and Instruction. Mr. Matt Weisberg, Assistant Superintendent for Student Services. Mrs. Lisa Cross, Executive Director of Secondary Education. Mr. Mike Muscarella, Executive Director of Elementary Education. Ms. Dina Ferragio, Director of School Culture. And also joining the district leadership team are members of our Board of Education, President Mr. Matt Shamara, Vice President Mr. Todd Marquardt, And trustees, Mr. Paul Spores, Mrs. Leanne Holt, and Mrs. Karen Whitewell. We are so thrilled that you could all be with us today to celebrate this class of 2024. As the assistant principal for the upperclassmen, I have had the pleasure of working closely with this senior class and have been proud to accompany them on their educational journey for the past 3 years. One of the great joys of being an educator is watching young people grow year after year. There are members of this year's graduating class who I have watched grow into the remarkable young men and women before you today, since they were just toddlers or elementary school students. What an honor it truly has been to walk beside each of you in your final days as a Kenmore student. Among our graduates, you will find scholars, athletes, artists, musicians, performers, and meaningful contributors to our community. You will see young people poised to embrace a lifetime of tremendous possibilities. They have proven their ability to persevere, to overcome obstacles, to support each other, and to do so with never-ending determination. We may have all heard the saying, the days are long, but the years are short. Class of 2024. You may be surprised how quickly these 5 years have gone by. It may seem like only yesterday you were an 8th grader. Think back to who you were when you first walked the halls at Kenmore-West. And now, think about all you have done in those 5 years. There is not a single person in this room who has not had to overcome obstacles to get to this moment. The past 5 years may not have been easy for you. There most certainly may have been moments when this day seemed impossible. There may have been days when things didn't go as you planned. Yet through it all, you never gave up on reaching your goal of graduating in this beautiful place today. Yet struggle does not have a single definition. No matter what you had to overcome, I believe you learned one of the most important lessons of life. The things we strive for may not be easy, but once the goal is accomplished, every ounce of effort will have been worth it. The lessons you learn not only in the classroom, but through your experiences at West will guide you throughout your life. No matter how many times you fall, pick yourself up and try again. One mistake does not equal failure. No matter how insurmountable the task ahead may seem, believe in the tremendous power you hold within you. Find your people, the people who will support you, guide you, believe in you, and sometimes strongly persuade you to keep pushing toward your goal. Poet Mary Williamson sums it up beautifully when she writes, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I am so humbled to have known each and every one of you in your moments of struggle and worry, and in your many moments of triumph and joy. Be courageous in sharing the gift that is you with this world." I would now like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Sabatino Simon.
Good morning. That's terrible. I know it's raining, folks, but good morning. Look at all these beautiful people here. Let's first start. My name is Sabatino Samato. I want to apologize about my voice. I'm going to do the best that I can today. If it annoys you, you'll probably agree with my wife because my voice usually annoys her lately. Graduates, I would like you to take a moment to please give all of the people that are here today to celebrate you, your friends and family, a tremendous round of applause. Let's start out by doing that. Also, I'd like to thank all the administrators at Kenmore-West, especially Dean Johnson, and students. Dean is his first name, it's not his title. Dean Johnson. For always having and planning such a wonderful ceremony. This does not happen by accident. It's a very well planned out event. And I would like to thank our Board of Education for all the support that they continuously provide all of our community. As I said, my name is Sabatino Smato, I'm your superintendent, and this is always a very special moment for me. I'm so excited to get to this day, but the reality is you did not work the past 13 to 14 years of your life, if you include pre-kindergarten and kindergarten, to get to this point to hear me ramble. But I do want to leave you with some words of wisdom. My biggest word today that I want to leave you with is change. I know this sounds crazy because we are at your graduation. You have made it. You made it through COVID. You were the first year at Kenmore-West when school shut down. You were in 9th grade when we started with virtual. And here you are today persevering through all of that craziness. We celebrate you and what you have done. From honors, awards, passing challenging exams. Of course, I don't want this to change. But the kind of change that I'm encouraging relates to your day-to-day activity. Why in the world would I ask you to change if we're here to celebrate you? You see, I've never been so serious about something in my life. As a result of your training through COVID, out came a tremendous challenge. We talked about it in the prep room. We use our cell phones way too much. Now that high school is over, no matter how many of you will admit this, you will miss these days and Kenmore-West. In missing these days, I know you will have a lot of wishes. We all do. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have tried that. I wish. My fear is now that your generation will look back at these years and wish that they did or said something differently. We all do that. My fear actually is that our young people will look back and wish that they did not lose so much time focusing on phones and living in the present. My fear is that you will regret missing some great experiences with friends and family. I highly doubt that any of you will sit back when you're almost 50, as I am before you today, and say, I wish I would have spent more time on my phone. So now that I made this strong statement, I hope that you will reflect on the main point. Now what? The answer is not how you change the past. The difference will be how you continue to shape your future. I encourage you to stop watching life and continue to do more to live. Make new friendships, explore new activities that you have only watched and not tried. Go to new places that you have only seen pictures or video of. Push yourself to higher limits than you've ever been pushed before. You see, I'm not saying to get rid of the phone. I'm merely asking you to live life. Trust me, all of us old folk, we're just as guilty as you. This thing comes with me everywhere. But you must understand, us older folk have the benefit of living without it. We have a better chance in handling something like this successfully because we learn to live life without it. That is all I'm encouraging you to do. Live without it, even for a small amount of time every day as you move on past Kenmore-West. According to a 2023 study, all of our families in the room will be interested in this. Students who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media double the risk of serious mental struggles later in life. According to a Gallup survey, teenagers spend an average of 4.8 hours a day. 4.8 hours. I just explained how 3 hours can double your chances of your struggles. When you think about it, doesn't it really make sense? Our phones provide typically uncontrolled access to information. And we all know the information is not always good or accurate. I want everybody to think back to high school for a second. Young people only follow what they see on social media today. If you were only to believe what you see, I should say, you will often believe what is wrong is right and what is right is wrong. Young people will always find themselves reaching what social media defines as perfection, an unrealistic picture of life, not to mention an unrealistic picture of love and relationships. My friends, it's okay at this point to be afraid. It's okay to not know what you're doing or where you're going. This is the beauty of the next several years of your life. In many ways, the next several years, you will learn more about yourself, and these things that you learn will be the very defining factors that ultimately are indicative of who you'll be for the rest of your life. But the key is what you learn about you. Embrace it, not because you watch it on a screen, but because you live it with the people you love. Find those basics to live by, always being good to others, having a solid core, being kind even when others aren't kind to you. Take it day by day, but take some time at the end of every day and reflect on what you accomplished that day. Find those core values and go with them. Live in the moment and truly make every moment count. Don't wish your life away, and definitely don't watch your life away. So change. Don't watch your life away. Congratulations. We're so very proud of you. Today, the way I started about your family and friends, take time to tell those people that are here today that you love them. Don't text them you love them. Look them in the eye and tell them you love them. After all, just doing a simple gesture like this helps to develop you into the men and women that you'll be for the rest of your lives. Thank you very much. Have a great summer, and I wish everyone the best of luck.
Thank you for sharing those powerful thoughts, Mr. Shamato. We as a school community are fortunate to have your leadership. Thank you for all you have done for all of us. Next, I would like to introduce the principal of Kenmore-West High School, Mr. Dean Johnson.
Well, good morning, parents, families, faculty, and staff. Welcome to our 111th commencement ceremony. It is my pleasure to present to you our class of 2024. Let's give them a round of applause for doing that. I want to begin by thanking our parents and guardians for partnering with us these past 5 years. Today is also very much a celebration of all your hard work as parents and being there for your children throughout the years. We appreciate all you've done for them and for us. Graduates, class of 2024, you did it. It's wonderful to be here and to celebrate this special moment with you and your families. I want you to know that we are very proud of all of you for what you did to get here and all that you have done to become the people you are. We're proud of you in part because you're graduating, for sure, but more importantly, for the people you have become and the people I believe you will be. The word commencement means the beginning of something. You are beginning one of the most exciting parts of your life because you will have more choices and possibilities than you've ever had before. So as your principal, this is my last opportunity to leave you with a parting message. As a parent of a high school senior myself, I feel an even closer connection to all of you as a class. As we gather here today, we're here because we know that this is a big moment in your lives. You are graduating from high school. It is one of those milestone events. No one here will likely forget this day or the importance of it. There will be pictures and probably social media posts, parties, and hopefully many special memories. So on a big day like this one, I want to talk about the importance of the little things in life. My first message is about learning the little things. For the past 17 or 18 years, you have been learning a variety of different little things. Probably things that you don't even think about very often, like how to tie your shoes, how to read, how to write, how to communicate, how to study and learn, how to manage your time, when to say please and thank you, and how to help others. The list goes on and on. All these things are small, however, when you add them all together, they are not little, they are big, and they're important. My first message to you is keep learning new little things in your life. The next message is about experiencing the little things in life. Now, I will just preface this by saying, Mr. Samato and I did talk, but not too much about every part of this speech, so bear with me on this. So, this may sound funny coming to you from your principal, but one of my goals is to limit my use of the cell phone. Yes, it is. And use it for the original purpose I had when I purchased it, phone calls. I first purchased my first flip phone when I was 30 years old. I know. My first smartphone when I was in my mid-30s. Now, the smartphone is an amazing device. However, it can occupy and fill your mind with lots of unnecessary information. Miles Davis, the famous jazz musician, once said about music, it's not the notes you play, it's the notes you don't play. He was talking about the importance of silence between the notes in music. Our minds also need silence, space, and time to work well. It occurred to me that just as physical health requires us to use our body physically through some form of exercise or activity, the same is true for mental health. It requires us to exercise our mind by thinking, observing, reading, writing, creating, giving it time to do what it's designed to do. As is true with physical health and exercise, exercising your mind requires effort, discipline, and an understanding that it's important for our health and well-being. It's easier to watch a series on Netflix or scroll videos. However, is it good for you if you do too much of it? I started thinking about all the places many of us may be inclined to look at our cell phones unnecessarily. In all the ordinary but sometimes interesting little experiences we may be missing out on, like waiting in line at Chipotle. You never know what you might see. Or on a bus ride to school or work. Or one that really bothers me, at a restaurant. My second message to you is observe through your eyes more of the simple, ordinary, and sometimes interesting little things that keep happening around you all the time. Give your mind silence and space and time to work. My next message is about appreciating the little things in life. Every one of us has people and support systems in their lives made up of family, friends, and even colleagues. We all go through good experiences and challenging ones. It is important, however, to appreciate all the little experiences and interactions with people who are close to us, as they give our lives depth and purpose. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in the superficial and material things that really don't matter much. My third message to you is to appreciate the little experiences that make you who you are and give your life meaning. My last and most important message is that little things add up to big things. You can observe this with positive outcomes and negative outcomes. Doing the wrong little things will add up over time. Doing the right little things will also add up over time. One example of this that is easy to observe are the little things people do financially. The S&P 500 is a stock market index that tracks the stock performance of 500 of the largest companies in the U.S. The history of the S&P 500 shows an average annualized return of 10% since it started decades ago. Now, based upon previous trends, if you invested $1 per day for 30 years, you could end up with approximately $68,000. I like the financial analogy with little things, because with $1 a day for a year, we have $365 at the end of the year. Times 30, it would be about $11,000. So you might ask, where did the extra $57,000 come from? The answer is, this is the return on your investment over time. Doing the right little things over time is an investment in you and in your future. You have learned all the right little things you will need to be successful and happy. These include being responsible, being respectful, being caring and kind, being principled, and being hardworking. My overall message is simple. Learn, experience, appreciate, and do the right little things. Graduates, as you leave Kenmore West and embark on your new adventures, remember the little things matter, and they add up to big things, like this commencement, where you are now and where you will be in the future. We are very proud of you, and we wish you the very best with all the little and big things that lie ahead of you. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for all you do for Kenmore West every day. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian of the class of 2024, Nora Keel.
I would like to begin my speech by offering congratulations to my fellow graduates. Today is a day that we have been waiting for a very long time. There are a lot of cliches surrounding graduation. I looked up some example commencement speeches in order to write this speech, so I saw them all. Trust me. Today is the first day of the rest of your lives in the life. There's a certain amount of truth to it all, I guess, obviously. Graduation comes with expectations. Expectations of success and of greatness. A few weeks ago, I was looking through some old photos with my grandmother and came across my mom's senior picture. She was the same age as I am now. However, looking back on it, it seemed like she was so much older than me. I remember how it used to look at the seniors back in elementary school. They seemed so old and mature then, like they had it all figured out. I guess that was the paradox of senior year. Technically an adult, but still a child at the same time. Leaving the confines of secondary education is exhilarating, but also scary, for me at least. Maybe some of you have a better handle on yourselves than I do, at which point I'd like to congratulate you. Good luck! You truly will go on to do great things in life, like all the speeches say. Whether you are going on to higher education in college or going into the workforce, graduating high school is a success in itself. High school, for our grade in particular, it was a lot. I don't think I need to go through a recap of everything, but starting in 6th grade, our class has been haunted by tragedy, which only got worse during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a way, writing this speech has reminded me of the college application process. Being given a really vague prompt and having a general idea of what you need to be able to express, but being completely unsure of how to go about it. know what I want to say here. I'm just a little unsure of how to do it. There's also the element of procrastination, which I get back in October and now. If you can forgive the trite metaphor, I guess adulthood is like one very long, very confused essay. High school is when you start to formulate your thesis and maybe do some background research. In college, you work on outlining your body paragraphs and writing an introduction. The rest is writing as you go, in indelible ink. And while our theses may be different, we're all working towards the same place, the conclusion. You can view that as a metaphor for death or retirement, whichever you wish. The thing that everyone always seems to expect is that you have graduated from high school with your essay completely outlined. They expect the outline to be organized with a very detailed plan that you can follow to the T. But even if you have a plan like that, they'll mock you anyway, throwing your youth back in your face with some other cliche or factoid. According to the University of Tulsa, 80% of college students change their major in once. You're supposed to be confused, but not too confused. Then it's stupidity. You're supposed to be certain, but not too certain, because then it's arrogance. It's the angst of the typical graduate that I hope every adult in the audience can remember and relate to, no matter how far removed from it you are. I'm not a very optimistic person by nature, as you can probably tell. It's upsetting because graduation is supposed to be a day for optimism. Except that optimism is another one of those cliches. The final shot of the movie, the freshly graduated 30-year-olds playing high schoolers, throwing their caps in the air in slow motion, smiling, laughing. The sun is shining down on the football field. We're not allowed to throw our caps. And our graduation is happening inside, which is nice, because otherwise it'd be really hot, and I would not want to sit outside for that long. Also, it's raining. When I wrote that joke, I wasn't sure if it would come true or not, but it did. Thanks, Buffalo. So, today, right now, I'd like to fight against my worst impulses and encourage the rest of you who find yourselves thinking similarly to do the same, no matter how stupid or silly you may feel. Embrace optimism. Take the most cynical parts of yourself outside, like the old yeller, and avert the eyes of your young children. Return without them, if only for a moment. Everyone here is going to have different feelings about today, which is fine and natural. We're all at different stages of readiness for the next part of our lives. We're all going to different places. But I think that uncertainty is something that, right now, lives in all of us. So, I'd just like to take a moment, an actual, sincere moment, to appreciate where we've been and where we're going. It may be a difficult road ahead of us, but we'll make it. I'd like to finish my speech with a final cliche, a quote from Neil Gaiman. Now go and make interesting mistakes. Make amazing mistakes. Make glorious and fantastic mistakes. Break rules. Leave the world more interesting for your being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Nora, and congratulations on all your successes at us. Joining us now are the Chamber Singers, led by Mrs. Jessica Leary, for a performance of You Do Not Walk Alone. I would now like to invite Reagan Fredericks, one of our senior class co-presidents, to the podium. Our other class of 2024 co-president, Nathan Harrington, shares her sentiments from the audience. Reagan.
Good morning, family, friends, staff, and fellow graduates. As Dr. Brandon had just mentioned, my name is Reagan Fredericks, and I am co-president of the class of 2024 with my cousin, Nathan Harrington. Sitting in front of me is the class of 2024. I truly have no words to capture the feelings we all have today. Some of us are afraid. Afraid of the future, afraid of the unknown, afraid to begin adulthood. Some of us are sad. Sad to leave our friends, sad to move away, sad to leave our families. And the rest of you are excited. Excited to have a fresh start, excited to leave all of our messy high school drama in the past, and excited to never have to take another written exam again. From this point on, we are not Kenmore-West students. We are Kenmore-West graduates, Kenmore-West alumni. The same life we've lived for the past 5 years is coming to a close. There will never be another day where we will wake up and step foot inside door one, dreading a unit test, regretting not finishing a project due that day, or being excited to go on a field trip we were thinking about all week. We have all closed one of the biggest chapters in our lives. We are now on our own. I know that scares the heck out of many of us, because deep down inside, I know it scares me too. But when you talk to someone about life after high school, they almost always say that it was the best time of their lives. Just the other day, I wore my college sweatshirt to work, and an alum of the university came in and told me how much I had to look forward to. She said if she could go back and relive a moment of her life, that her time right after high school where she would be automatically go back to. Seeing the smile on her face, knowing she was once my age, experiencing everything, made me a little less nervous. Every single person in this room should be excited about what their future holds. But we should all start to really appreciate what is right in front of us. Life is truly beautiful, and everyone is consistently guilty of taking it for granted. We have all had at least one day we've gotten mad at someone we love and regretted it. Maybe you didn't try your hardest on a test and were ashamed of the grade you received after because you could have done more or tried harder. No matter what it was, some way or another, pretendiness was most important. One fight with someone you care about shouldn't make you hate them, it should only bring you closer. I don't know about everyone else, but I would not be up here walking across the stage shortly if it weren't for my parents and my brother. They are not only proud of me, but I am insanely proud of them and everything they have done for me and my family. You will always have someone in your life who cares about you, so take the time to enjoy life with them as well. As you all grow up, we should soak in the moments, like I do, when my mom takes me shopping and we go get food together, smiling so much our cheeks hurt. Or when my dad hugs me during a romance movie, because at that moment, we are the only two people who feel the pain when Laura Jean breaks up with Peter Kavinsky. And even when my brother stays up with me until 2 a.m. talking, because it was the first time I saw him since he was away at college. These moments to me make me truly realize how short life is. These moments, as small as they may seem, you'll want back 5 years from now. 10 years from now, when you're married or your kids are at work, you'll wish your mom was there to hug you and wish you good luck for a big meeting. 15 years from now, when your parents hold your kids, their grandkids, for the first time, you'll wish they would hold you like that again. We are all 17 or 18 years old, and our childhoods are over. In the blink of an eye, the moment we dreamt about since we were little kids is here. We are no longer looking up to the upperclassmen because we are the upperclassmen. I remember when I got my Penn username, Fredericks RE24, I looked at Enjoy every moment, every experience, every heartbreak, every friendship, and every second. Time is moving quickly and life changes so fast. Don't take for granted and appreciate what others have done for you and what you did for yourself. Graduating high school is one of the many accomplishments you will achieve in life, and you all should be extremely proud of yourself for getting to this point. Congratulations, Kenmore-West class of 2024. We did it.
Thank you, Reagan, and thank you, Reagan and Nathan, for your leadership at West. Every Friday on morning announcements, we start the day at West with the Kenmore-West Alma Mater. Our senior choir members will now perform the Alma Mater for their final time as students of Kenmore-West. It is now the time you've all been waiting for, the conferral of diplomas. Please welcome Mrs. Mary Lynn Buron and Mr. Ed Clinch, who will invite the graduates to receive their diplomas. As a reminder, we ask that guests and graduates are dignified, respectful, and positive as our students are awarded their diplomas. We ask everyone to refrain from applauding until all of the graduates have been called and to refrain from making loud noises so everyone can hear their graduates' names. Thank you for your cooperation.
It is our distinct pleasure to present to you the Kenmore-West class of 2024.
Emma Jones. Campbell Dickinson. Samantha Padilla. Brandon Crone. Genevieve Plummer. Ray Carr. Olivia Liana. Evan Crossbetter. Lucas Bagel. Carly Smith. Juliette Oates. Taylor Rubach. Juliana Fuddy. Jocelyn Struble. Selena Palomino. Eva D. Jeremy Turner. Lauren Parisi. Madison Caldwell. Samantha Bernhardt. Richard Ward. Jessica Smith. Haley Thompson. Mateo Sherman. Liliana Wagner. Rachel Kupal. Robert Manley. Sophia McGuigan. Alexander Grogan. Owen Fairwater.
Bella Athley. Amaya Cesario. Claire Day. Edie Gable. Gaia Regina. Aiden Page Goodwin. Michaela Roberson. Alessandra Sabati. Caitlin Quisto. Fadil Ahmed. Omar Alakra. Ayam Alawi. Joseph Alvarez. Anthony Amadeo. Elia Amuli. Cameron Anderson. Nicholas Argenia. Zoya Ashman. Sierra Avery. Elizabeth Baker. Mackenzie Baker. Sophia Balsano. Jacob Vanis. Nicholas Vanis. Charlotte Barron. Gia Pierce. Juliana Beltran. Julissa Beltran. Shona Bamer. Olivia Boycourt. Jackson Bonafide. Joel Moon. Landon Calvert. Gavin Brooks. Maya Trumba. Benjamin Camardella. Joseph Caseri. Jonathan Lynch. Trish Boga. Maria Palmer. Abigail Coots. Melanie Cowan. Gracie Craig. Ireland Creed. Jonas Creed. Jason Cruz. Alana De Augustino. Madison Dallas. Darius Campbell. Chanel Davis. Jacob Davis. M.D. Dominic DeJeterin. Sienna DeJulio. Hassan Jabran. Hannah Doherty. Patrick Egan. Lamari Edmonds. David Edwards Jr. Ethan Epstein. Matthias Sophie. Gremlin Everett. Julia Fabiana. Ayo Kalaye. Ryan Filey. Ava Foley. Samuel Gallivan. Jacob Gardine. Seth Dawes. Abigail Gottlieb. Charlotte Giancola. Michael Godson. Alexander Gorgola. Spencer Greco. Michael Julia. Christopher Hargrave. Nathan Harrington. Lulu Harris. Jason Hawkins Jr. Alan Haynes. Emma Henry. Angelina Fernandez. Braden Hess. Jeff Hodges. Jonathan Hodges. Aaron Hoffler. Joseph Coleman. Matthew Hooten. Robert Hopkins. Samantha Horn. Nolan Orvadez. Anna Hudson. Boyd Huff. Michael Hurley. Jude Hutchison. Lillian Hutchison. Matthew Jackson. Mohammed Jana. Emily Jeffries. Christopher Jenkins. Caleb Johnson. Jayla Johnson. Lily Jordan. Lucas Gatorabet. Kyra Keller. Buckminster Killian. Riley Claus. Isaiah Nalowitz. Lily Kornowski. Hannah Krakowski. Bella Koskowski. Jackson Loddick. Samuel Lamont. Gabriella Latour. Brooklyn Leslie. Reed Lesmeister. Ian Levitt. Miguel Lopez. Devin Laurie. Braden Luke. Dylan Lucier.
Kenmore-Tonawanda. Aiden Miller. Rosetta Miller. Weiss. Alex Ware. Nathan Willie. Shine Letta. Avery Whitlock. Michael McConnell. And we'd like to congratulate our foreign exchange students who spent a year preparing with us here at Kenmore-West, and Martina Lukacs.
Graduates, your diplomas certify that you have successfully completed the course of study prescribed by the Board of Education and approved by the Board of Regents of the University of the State of New York. Your Kenmore-West diploma also represents the completion of a program of learning and study aligned to our school mission. As graduates of Kenmore-West, I hope you continue to seek knowledge, be principled, and show compassion to others. At this time, I'd like to ask the class of 2024 to please rise. At this time, I'd like to ask the class of 2024 to please move your tassel from the right side of your cap to your left. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations to all of our graduates. Again, parents, we thank you for being a partner in your child's success. Remember, Kenmore-West graduates, today you leave us as students, but you are always at home at Kenmore-West. Congratulations.